Hey everyone, this is Cody, and today on AstroBlender I'm going to be reviewing the very popular Optolong L-eNhance dual band filter. So to start this off, I'm just going to ask a question. What makes this filter so popular? Well, it includes two band passes that include a lot of the desirable wavelengths you want for astrophotography, and it does a pretty good job at isolating them. So this includes two of the Balmer series lines, and it also includes the double ionized oxygen line, or O3. So in this one filter, you're going to be shooting hydrogen alpha, hydrogen beta, and oxygen 3, which is really handy for one-shot color camera users like myself. I don't have a lot of time to shoot with a monochrome camera or anything like that, so to be able to stick in a filter into my camera and shoot an object and get all the data I want in one night is really, really handy. Continuing on the question of what makes this so popular though, is the bandpass width. So you could go buy a hydrogen alpha filter for your one-shot color camera that has a hydrogen alpha bandpass that's 12 nanometers wide or 6 nanometers wide. The one in this L-eNhance filter is 10 nanometers wide. So you're basically getting a narrow band hydrogen alpha filter, but not just that. You're getting the O3 and the H beta as well. Those are 24 nanometers wide, so a little bit wider, and they do bring in a little bit more light, but you're capturing hydrogen beta, oxygen 3, and hydrogen alpha, all technically narrowband in one filter. Now again, look at the hydrogen alpha bandpass. It's 656 nanometers. It's a 10 nanometer wide bandpass, transmitted to over 90%. That's really good. Basically, you have a hydrogen alpha narrowband filter in here. And then if you look at the hydrogen beta side of things, you're still transmitting hydrogen beta over 90%. Now, a lot of people argue hydrogen beta isn't the best thing to shoot for and it doesn't do a whole lot for your images, but I mean, if you can get it in there, you might as well. So hydrogen beta is included, and then you also have the 500 nanometer oxygen 3, which is also above 90% transmission. So this is the one complaint people have about the filter, is this 24 nanometer wide bandpass is a bit wide and it does let in a little bit too much light. So if you do shoot with like a full moon, you might see some gradients in your image, but overall I've been so impressed with the Optolong L-eNhance. It's really allowed me from my own backyard to pull in a lot of those subtle details from those glowing hydrogen alpha nebula. And honestly, you can shoot planetary nebula really well with this too, because it has hydrogen alpha, O3, and H beta all in one. So there's a lot of targets that this filter allows you to shoot right from your own backyard, and you don't have to worry about the light pollution. It's just cut right out. Another thing about the L-eNhance filter that I really like is it makes your subject stand out. Essentially, it makes it pop. So to elaborate on that, when I shoot with a broadband light pollution filter, I pick up so many stars that they tend to overwhelm the nebula. And it's not a bad thing if that's what you're shooting for. It really depends on what your style is. But the only way to really make the nebula pop in a broadband image is to reduce the stars. And is that realistic? I mean, astrophotography can be an art, so yeah, you can reduce the stars and still get a really nice looking image. This does it naturally. So you're only shooting in hydrogen alpha, hydrogen beta, and oxygen 3. A lot of that other light that is going to bloat the stars and make them pop is not there. Instead, what you're going to be doing is making the nebula pop. And so you don't have to do anything in post-processing to reduce the stars. They're not bloated. They're there, and they're really small and pretty, which is another benefit of hydrogen alpha, but the nebula stands out rather than in broadband where the stars really pop. And I'll be honest, I love broadband star images too. I've shot plenty in my time. They really are just amazing to see how many stars are in the band of the Milky Way. But sometimes if you're really wanting to shoot for those nebula details, hydrogen alpha, O3, you're going to reduce those stars naturally and you don't have to touch them. Now, if you're imaging galaxies, I'd recommend not using a filter at all or using a broadband light pollution filter. And the reason for that is galaxies emit across a broad spectrum of light. And so you're going to be cutting out a lot of that light if you use a narrowband filter. However, what you can do is if you're imaging a galaxy that has a lot of hydrogen alpha in it, say a starburst galaxy or just a galaxy that has a lot of star formation going on, go ahead and image it with the L-eNhance filter and then combine your data with the broadband data, and then you can make some really awesome galaxy images that look natural but also have that hydrogen alpha data added in on top of it. This is the 2-inch L-eNhance, and I use 2-inch filters exclusively so I can use them with my filter drawers and sliders. So this is the Starzona RASA 8 filter drawer, so I can easily use the L-eNhance in my RASA. I also have the ZWO filter drawer, so I can use the L-eNhance in my Comet Hunter and in my Schmidt-Cassegrain, and you could even use it in refractors. So filter drawers just make things really, really nice, and so that's why I went with the 2-inch filter. The Optolong L-eNhance is also a very forgiving filter as well. I took an image of the Cygnus wall using the Explore Scientific Comet Hunter and ASI 294 MC Pro with this filter, and I forgot to take flats. Well, there was no vignetting, I didn't have to crop anything, and the image looked good across the whole field. So yeah, it's a really easy filter to image with, and it pulls out a lot of those details. However, I don't think any review would be complete without actually seeing the results for yourself. So here are a couple images I've taken with the Comet Hunter, L-eNhance, and the ASI 294 MC Pro. Alright everyone, well that is my review of the Optolong L-eNhance H-alpha H-beta O3 filter. You can see why it's just so popular. Images are really easy to obtain and it's nice to bring in all that detail. So be sure to stay tuned for my review of the Optolong L-Extreme filter, and as always, thanks so much for watching and clear skies.